Growing up, I had dreams and aspirations, but always felt like the kid that didn't fit in. For the most part, I wasn't a bad kid, but when I made the transition into adulthood, I turned to the streets for guidance. This led to getting locked up in juvenile hall, doing time in CYA, and eventually a 120-month sentence in federal prison. I had a lot of time to think and reflect during my federal sentence, so I share with you what I learned, hoping I can positively influence someone else's life with Prison Talk.
916, getting down with another fresh out Prison Talk. I was listening to some of the chatter on social media, and a celebrity podcaster, a black guy, was talking about every now and then in America, they have to remind you that you're still NIGGA. And doesn't matter how successful you are, what your level of excellence is, they got to remind you of your place in society. And you know, I heard that statement, and this guy's a multimillionaire. He's got partners, I'm sure, that are white in his business who have opened up doors for him, and people he's made money with that are white or Hispanic or of another skin tone or nationality besides black. And it's just really laughable, these comments when they say that, because at the end of the day, when you talk about people in life, there are always going to be people who are racist, who are ignorant, and who aren't going to like you. It doesn't matter where you go in the world. You're going to be treated a certain way by certain people because that's just who they are. And other people will respect you. They don't have to look like you, and they'll like you because of who you are. And that's just life. A lot of times, an individual has a certain perception of a group of people based on how they were raised, um, where their current surroundings are, their personal experiences. And I'm not here to try to convince everybody around me to like me. I mean, I really don't give a damn. Who cares if you're a racist, if you're gonna, make a comment, just don't put your hands on me. And I'm gonna keep it pushing. It's not gonna take away from my momentum and going where I want to go with my goals. It's not gonna make me break down and cry. I'm not asking you to accept me. I'm just gonna be me, and you can take it or leave it. At the end of the day, my ultimate goal is to achieve a certain level of success, to take care of my family, but to pity party in somebody treating you a certain way, and you get all in your feelings and you're a grown adult, it's like, come on, man. What for? Why even allow that to enter your chi? Why make that such a monumental issue when you've achieved a high level of success? And so now you're planting a seed in all these other young black men that, man, you're gonna forever be a NIGGA. They're gonna always say, so what? Everybody, that's just life is not all friendships. Life is not all love. Life is not all embracing. Life is not everybody, you know, accepting you and loving you because you can run fast, you can throw a football, or you can rap, or you can dance, or you can make people laugh. That's just not life, man. That's not realistic. It don't matter if you're in America. It don't matter if you go to uh, India. You can go to different parts of Africa. It don't mean everybody's gonna love you, man. Some people aren't gonna like how you carry your program. Some people aren't gonna like you just because of your personal views, and some people just don't like because they're just miserable. They're crabs in the bucket. But it's like, when wealthy blacks can always say that. I mean, dude, If you're making 2, 3 million a year, you're part of the probably one, 1 to 4 or 5% in America. So for you to still be worried about everybody liking you or somebody treating you indifferent, to me, that's not even worth mentioning. But yet, and when you mention it and you make it seem like you're being treated the same as everybody else in the in the so-called culture. Most of the culture doesn't have a pot to piss in. They don't have $5,000 in savings. They don't even entertain themselves at the same places you go to, and you're most likely not crossing paths with any of these people. Once you get to a certain level, you're not really doing things in certain environments because it's not safe, it's not practical. Wouldn't be smart. So it wouldn't matter if you were in white America or black America. If you're balling and you're doing certain things in certain places, there's dudes that look like you who will knock you down. They will set you up. They'll send a breezy at you, and she will rock you to sleep. And them dudes will tie you up, rob. I mean, it doesn't matter. You're talking about so emotional about white America and oh man, black excellence. But then take that black excellence and park your Lamborghini or your Ferrari and go over here and be talking to these dudes who aren't really mentally vibing at the same frequency and try to explain things to them, and they will knock you down. They won't embrace you. They'll have a couple guys who will be like, wow, this is some great motivation, but you'll have people in there who you would like to be like, hey man, let's be cool, and they will do something to you. And it's just a reality. It's not, calling out everybody, but I've been in all types of environments. I've been places where people have looked at me, when I walk by because I'm black and I'm walking with my wife and she's white, or I've been places uh, with um, my mom and my stepdad or my brother and sister, and people are looking, and you know my stepdad is white and my brothers and sisters are mixed, but you can't tell what they are. And people look confused, and you know it's like, I'm not here to explain to you every facet of my life. I'm not here to, break down why you should love black people, or hey man, we should sing kumbaya together and hold hands. And it's not it's not in my it's not in my DNA to try to love and embrace all of mankind for the sake of making it a better place. I'm looking to embrace those who want to embrace me back, because I'm not going to fall victim to somebody who really doesn't give a damn about me and who really dislikes me, maybe because of my skin, maybe because of the way I talk, maybe because of my personal views, maybe because of the way I walk. I mean, it's not worth it. So a lot of this, conversation came from the whole Shador Sanders being drafted late, and there was a lot of other factors in there um, that I heard like other people talking about. And regardless, when you move, whether it's in a black circle, white circle, um, you know, whatever cultural circle in an Asian community or Hispanic community, your personality, your attitude, a lot of that plays a factor. And even then, some people still might not like you. If you got a suit on, if you look like, you're maybe more professional than the next person, it might get you 10 more seconds to explain yourself. But, life is life, man. I've been on an interview for a financial firm back in the day, and I knocked the interview out, the pre-interview with the guy, and he was a white guy, interviewed me. I used to sell natural gas partnerships. I had a Series 23 license, and I went to another place to sell. I think it was printers back in the day, and I went to the first interview. Like I said, the guy was white, and he was like, "Man, okay, you got one more interview." and I'm gonna introduce you to to my manager. And when he introduced me to the other manager, I went into the place to meet, introduced myself, sat in a like waiting area. There was one other black guy in, it looked like the whole office, and he kind of looked up at me. I looked at him, whatever. And when I went into the interview with this other manager, I think he was one of the maybe co-founders or owners, and older dude, older than the guy who interviewed me. And he he had that look like, he didn't really mess with blacks too much. There's a look, and I've seen it before. I didn't really make it a stumbling block. But when I sat down to prepare myself for the interview, because I had did my research on the company, first thing he asked me is like, what's your relationship with your family? And I'm like looking like, that's interesting. And he's like, what do your parents do? Is your is your I think, I don't know if he can't remember if he mentioned, is my mother and father married? How many brothers and sisters you have? But he was asking me a bunch of things about my family and nothing about my background in sales or the company. And I found that very interesting. And I looked over at the guy who had initially interviewed me. He looked at me and he like kind of like looked down, and I'm like, oh, okay. This guy's checking to see what my lineage is, what my background is, what the people in my family. And I said, oh, and I answered him as well as I could based on my my personal relationships. And the interview was probably over within 8 minutes, maybe 10 tops. And I walked out of there and I'm like, oh, this is a wrap. I'm not going to get this job. And I didn't get the job. I didn't get the job. And I didn't take it personal, but I remember that instance, and I can, you know, um, relate as far as, oh, okay, it was, I would say, a racial thing, even though I couldn't prove it, but it wasn't like it stopped me from living life. And I wasn't a multimillionaire, or else I wouldn't even went in there, looking for a job. And um, I didn't use it as a cry for, you know, uh, civil rights reform. I just kept it pushing, man. And that's life. So for you young men out there, you dealing with situations, don't let it, you know, destroy you. Don't let it make you feel like you're lesser than. Don't let it uh, affect you to the point where you want to go out and lash out violently, or, man, you're gonna find people, and some of them are gonna be, assholes, regardless of the color of your skin, and some are gonna be cool, and that's just life, man. It's not. It's not. It's not the end of the world if not all white people embrace you, or you know you you deal with a situation and they act like they're out of something because of, you think, it's because of the color of your skin, they don't want to serve you some. Man, then ain't, you don't want them touching your food anyways, or you don't want to spend money with them anyways. Go somewhere else. Plain and simple, man. A lot of people get so caught up in all this stuff, and the racial stuff is really big right now on social media. So I just thought I'd speak on it, share this video with you guys, and you know, kind of voice my 2 cents. And I was going to also share this clip with you about what the guy said about Shador Sanders, and you can kind of leave a comment, let me know what you guys think. But I think a lot of the stuff is over exaggerated, and a lot of the people who are talking, they're talking because they got the platforms and they're getting paid to talk this, because they're in bed with the same people. They're saying that, oh man, these people don't want nothing to do with you, but these people are also writing these guys a check. They're getting a check, man. They won't have people like me on there because of my background and my articulation and my whole perspective, but they'll have these guys on there because they have influence, and it keeps the divide going. And it also makes a lot of people afraid to go outside their comfort zone because of fear of racial um, intimidation, or the fact that opportunities won't be presented to them So they just stay where they're at, and that's all a psychological ploy too. Don't go for it, man. Look beyond that, and stay out the way, and don't let these people trick you into some limited mind concept of thinking because you're black and you can never get out of that. What are you trying to get out of? Just live your life, man. I mean, live your life, man. It doesn't matter what they think of you, how they look at you. There's going to be some that like you, some that don't. I mean, some people don't even want to shake your hand because they feel like, ugh, I don't want to shake your hand either. Dookie breath, camel nut, turtle booty hole, rhinoceros tail smelling like old ass. Big Hurt 916. And I would like to introduce you to Little Herc's Big Lessons. My wife and I decided to come out with a children's book series that encourages young children to be strong, to make good choices, and also teach valuable lessons. Lesson 2, Speak with Strength. At school, Little Herc's classmate Maria looked upset. The bigger kids were teasing her about her artwork. Hey, Little Herc said, stepping forward, Maria's art is awesome. Let's show some respect. The bigger kids shuffled their feet and walked away. Maria smiled at Little Herc. Thanks, Herc. You're always brave enough to stand up for what's right. Little Herc felt proud. Speaking up is what strong people do. You can pick up the book, link in the description, share it with your
Officially, I only got one real spanking my entire life. My mom did the best a 14-year-old could do, raising me with love and instilling values that will last a lifetime. I was a straight-A student and lived to make her happy. So how did I go astray? A horrible stepdad that stole my self-worth and invoked fear turned me into a person that I struggled to overcome. From skateboarding to selling drugs, gang banging in juvenile hall, I got caught the same way many young promising men get caught up. I struggled to find my identity, getting mixed up in shootouts, crime, and the adult entertainment industry. This roller coaster continued as I juggled college, hustling, and Hollywood, eventually catching a federal bank robbery case. I found redemption in prison while serving a 120-month federal sentence and came out a man on a mission. I became a social media influencer with over 500 million views on YouTube and a life coach mentoring people all over the world. This is my journey against all odds.